Hello and welcome to Crack My English with me. My name is Laila and I'm on a mission to complete as many of these questions as possible. Today's topic is Facebook, so let's get started. Question 1. What springs to mind when you hear the word Facebook? Well, when I hear the word Facebook, I immediately think of its founder, Michael Zuckerberg. I think his name is very memorable and his face is very memorable as well. I'm also thinking about the baby boomers who tend to get stuck on Facebook because I believe it was the first social media networking site that got really popular. So these baby boomers and the older generations, I think, have refused to migrate to other platforms. I'm also thinking about long-lost high school friends, especially when Facebook came around. We got to make a lot of friends on Facebook, and it was really very easy to retrace back and find your old colleagues and schoolmates, and it was really fun. I'm also seeing a lot of religious groups on Facebook, especially when they want to broadcast their live sermons. I don't know if it's made easy somehow by the platform, but I see a lot of these religious groups broadcasting their sermons on Facebook more than on any other platform. The other thing I'm thinking about is parents who want to stalk their kids' account. I have a really weird story that I'm going to tell you towards the end of these questions, so stay tuned. Question 2. Do you like the Facebook logo? Well, I don't mind the Facebook logo. I think it's a very memorable logo. The colors are blue and white and the font is very specific, this kind of block style text. I also believe that in advertising, the colors blue and white are supposed to mean something. So I googled this quickly and I see that in advertising, blue means success, depth, loyalty, calmness, and power, while white means safety, purity, fresh, cleanliness, and contrast. For Facebook, when it comes to the color blue, I can say that it's been relatively successful because a lot of people have stayed there and there's a lot of really good advertising, especially for businesses. I think it's also been able to build a lot of loyalty. A lot of people who are on other platforms still have a Facebook profile. I think that's amazing. It's also a very calm platform, especially compared to these other newer platforms. So I think that was a good color, blue. For white, I can say that it's pretty safe as a social media platform because you tend to curate who you want to be friends with and who you don't want to be friends with. A lot of people tend to use their real names on Facebook, and a lot of people who have a profile are friends with specific people who they actually know in their real life. So I find that it's almost a safe place, if not the safest of all social media platforms. I think it's also really pure in the fact that we've not seen a lot of changes in it. I think they're still adding things to it, but it still remains the same. They know exactly how it works and how to use it. So I think that's that. Is it fresh? I'm not sure. Is it clean? I'm not sure. But I would say blue and white were really good colors. Another reason that I discovered for the choice of blue and white is because the founder, Michael Zuckerberg, is actually red-green colorblind. And it's believed, or I'm not sure if it's him who said this, but I found this in a random search. Blue and white are the only colors he can see best. So this is probably an added reason for why we see blue and white to this day. Question 3. Facebook or Twitter? Definitely Facebook. Well, I think it's quite an interesting question here because, so first of all, I think that Twitter moves way too fast for me. There are too many strangers, too many people using fake names, and like we've seen on the news, they're talking about there being a lot of bots on Twitter. The other thing about Twitter is there are way too many opinions represented. On Twitter, you don't get to choose your friends, they get to choose you. And everybody wants to make an opinion. And I think because of how the site is designed with the character limitations, I feel like anything anyone wants to say, they try to pack with the most punch. I find the site to be really aggressive. A lot of people who have an account are probably politically activated, for example, or are people who want to express their opinions very freely and very anonymously. So wow, I try to really stay away from Twitter. Also, I find that their algorithm is very, very aggressive. Twitter has the new owner, Elon Musk, and in the past, we always thought there's someone somewhere controlling the algorithm. Recently, we've seen Elon Musk coming out strongly and being like, oh, we're going to limit your posts to who sees it. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Twitter's management is extremely aggressive, and I feel like it's a good match for the audience on Twitter. So aggressive policies for an aggressive audience. I feel like that's a really, really good match right there. Also, I find that Twitter is a more politically activated platform. So you see a lot of government accounts, a lot of politicians are on Twitter. So it's more political than community. That's the other thing about Twitter as a private person. So I find like Facebook is a bit of a safer space for people who want to build communities with people they identify with, for people who are not looking for a lot of unsolicited opinions from people who are feigning outrage and who want to very, very anonymously and just comment and be as brutal as they possibly can. Question 4. What are the best things about Facebook? Well, I believe, like I've mentioned before, Facebook is a place where you can connect with real people, real friends who are already in your life. You can also find friends from the past because a lot of people with Facebook profiles tend to use their real names. So that's a really, really good thing because Facebook was one of the first social media networking sites. A lot of people posted a lot of really nice home videos, pictures of them on their first trip abroad. I think Facebook brings back all these memories when you visit profiles of your friends or even your profile. You get to see a lot of these memories. I think that's a really, really good one. For people who enjoy YouTube, I find that they would also really enjoy Facebook because a lot of the creators who are making longer form content on YouTube have channels on Facebook where they broadcast a shorter version of whatever content they put out in long form on YouTube. So for example, for people who enjoy true crime, you would know Kendra Ray. She's a really, really big account on YouTube, and she also does this short form format videos of what she puts out on YouTube, and I think that's really, really interesting. So I think another good thing about Facebook is that you can curate your entertainment based on what you want to see and what you want to enjoy. So that's a good thing there. Another Facebook feature that I've enjoyed is a free calling, especially when you're on your tablet that is not SIM card enabled or doesn't have a SIM card. You can just use Wi-Fi and make these calls to your friends. And I think that's really, really good and a lifesaver. The other thing that I really like about all social media sites is the blocking feature. You can block people who you don't want to deal with a headache of interacting with. I think this is really, really good. Question 5. Do you think it's dangerous putting information on Facebook? Well, yes and no. I think with social media, everyone has to exercise some level of intelligence and exercise a lot of precaution because we're interacting with a lot of people virtually, which is almost safe. But the danger comes in when these people come into your real life and do bad things, right? So you don't want to be sharing information like sensitive information like your real address, bank account details, phone numbers or something. So you want to really create that filter between the virtual world and the real world to only bring in people who you actually trust and you feel safe around. Otherwise, a lot of things tend to happen. For regular people who have nothing or little to lose, like myself, I think Facebook is a pretty safe place to put out information because I'm not a government, I'm not a business. So I think there's very little danger there. For businesses, I think they've really benefited from Facebook marketing. I think they do really, really good sponsored ads. I think businesses have really, really gained a lot of followers. I think businesses have really, really enjoyed Facebook because they're able to broadcast or sponsor their posts, and you can choose whatever demographic you want your products to be shown to. And I think that's a really, really good one, especially now that business is being done virtually. So for businesses, I also don't see a danger there. For governments and other important people like diplomats and so on, I think they are the ones that need to filter the information that don't put their countries in danger or even themselves in danger. Question 6. What are your favorite Facebook applications or games? Well, I'm not a game person, so I wouldn't know about any games on Facebook. The only application that I know is on Facebook Messenger. Like I mentioned before, you can really make calls and video calls to your family and friends, and I think this is really, really useful. It's also a free calling application, so that's an added bonus. I know about Facebook Marketplace. I haven't personally used it, but my sister recently purchased patio furniture from Facebook Marketplace, and it looks to be in really, really good condition. So I think that's another application from Facebook that is really benefiting people. Question 7. How would you sell someone to Facebook if they didn't want to open an account? Well, first of all, I think it's quite difficult to sell anything to a person who's not willing to buy it. But if I was going to do it, I would sell them to the advantages of whatever I'm selling. So for Facebook in particular, I would tell them about the nice things about Facebook. For example, I would tell them about being able to reconnect with old friends if that's something they're interested in. I would tell them about the different entertainment options available on Facebook if entertainment is what they want, and I would maybe even go a step further to find out what kind of entertainment is there. I am almost 95% sure there's all sorts of entertainment on Facebook. I would also tell them about Facebook Messenger and the free calls. I think no one shies away from a good application that helps you connect with friends and family. If they were also like a really old person, I would tell them about the user friendliness of the application and how straightforward it is, and tell them about all the older people that I know that are using Facebook successfully at an advanced age. That's probably how I would go about it. Question 8. What is the purpose of Facebook? Unlike all the other social media networking sites, I think the purpose of Facebook is to create real communities, because a lot of people on Facebook are actually real people. There's probably some bots, but I don't know how those work. A lot of people on my Facebook are people that I know or friends of friends. So I believe that people can really create close-knit communities with people they know. You can even follow the real lives of your friends and family as they travel, as they, buy their first car, you get new grass for their yard, and so on and so forth. Also, Facebook will create communities based on interest, and I see a lot of people, for example, who want to learn English, build their fluency. They create all these groups with foreigners who live outside their own countries. They have created communities on Facebook where they can interact and share with each other and kind of help each other out and help each other navigate their new communities. I've seen groups about weight loss, fitness, and so on and so forth. So again, we're seeing how Facebook is enabling the creation of close-knit communities. I also believe that Facebook is a place to get information. There are a lot of credible websites and news networks that are represented on Facebook, and you can get your daily news updates about what's going on around the world. And I think this is really, really interesting. The other thing I mentioned, I think, is you can get a lot of entertainment. A lot of YouTubers create short format content for Facebook, and I think you can really, really enjoy this, and that's super fantastic. So I'm seeing entertainment, building communities, and a place to get informed. Question 9. Would you ever pay to use Facebook? As an individual, absolutely not. If I were a business, I absolutely would use Facebook, and I would probably pay for it. The reason why I would not use Facebook as a private entity, as a single entity person, is Facebook is just a platform. And what makes it really appealing and popular is when individual people share from their own personal lives onto Facebook. They create content for the platform that makes it really, really appealing. I don't think I would pay to put my life out there. I think that should be free. But for businesses, on the other hand, they can pay to get the attention of people who have accounts on Facebook to sell and advertise. And I think there's more of a commercial interest on Facebook for businesses as opposed to real people or individual people who are not trying to sell things. Also with Facebook, I think there are a lot of ways that they can make business with sponsored ads and so on and so forth. Probably for a long time, we wouldn't have to pay to use Facebook. Question 10. Have you ever put anything on Facebook that you regretted? Oh, now this is an interesting question. Yes, I have put something that I regretted when I was in university. I think I was in my second year of university. So one of my friends decided that he wanted to get some dreadlocks. His hair was really short, so he got these baby locks. He looked really, really interesting from how we'd been used to see him. So when I saw him in class that day, I was like, hey, let's take a picture. I want to document the journey of how your baby locks develop into these actual locks. So we take a picture together and I posted on my Facebook. Little did I know that my dad was stalking my page. So he writes me a message. Who is this boy? Tell him to comb his hair and come speak to me. I was really shocked. I really hated my dad for that, and I have never forgiven him actually, because we weren't even trying to go out. It was just my friend, and sometimes parents tend to be really overprotective and not trusting of their kids, if I may say that. I really hated my dad for a long time for this, and the guy was actually a really, really good friend of mine. We never dated. He was just a friend, and I'm happy to report that his dreads are like full-blown dreads, and they're really, really nice. He has really, really nice hair. Well, so that is it for this topic today. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Until next time, bye friends!